Con semi-finals of Hearthstone. We have one of our semi-final matches between Bowzer and CorkScrew. We are going to go ahead and jump straight into the games now. Each opponent is selecting their decks currently.
Before the match gets started, let's hear the crowd scream a bit. Oh, come on. You can do better than that. 1, 2, 3. A lot of the past tournament players and a few passers-by are dropping in to catch the semifinals. We're gonna get a chance to see the decks and skill that have made it this far into a tournament that originally started with 94 players. We are down to the last 4.
Alfurion versus Uther. I will
Starting off
with honor.
CorkScrew is using Paladin. Bowzer has a good.
Interesting. I have not seen a Paladin deck run in a Ruby and Egg. Mind Control Tech is also an interesting pick from Bowzer. Kind of unique to that Druid hand.
If you're expecting a lot of minions from aggro Paladin, it could be pretty useful, or even just it's one of the old cards that used to be included to help counter Dr. Boom. CorkScrew's got a pretty decent curve right now, and got both his piloted shredders early. That's going to be a huge help in maintaining board control and trying to burst Bowzer down before he can defend himself.
Now, I'm interested in kind of knowing where Bowzer's going to take this, because he could iterate something out now, he could just pass, but I mean, during turn 4, what do you think you should do? Because CorkScrew seems pretty, he's got a nice mana curve kind of going with him, but what about Bowzer?
Yeah, his hand is really expensive right now, and seeing that Shredder means your swipe is going to get even less value, because you're not clearing out a board full of minions from muster. You got to kill a Shredder, and then something else is going to come out of it that you still have to deal with. So Druid's starting hand is not well equipped to deal with keeping the board cleared until he gets to all the mana ridiculous mana pumping turns that he needs to play all these 7, 9, yeah. He's got an MC tech, but there's only 2 minions on the board right now, and he wouldn't want to use it now. It's very tempting to play Azure Drake right now. You get a card draw, and you sort of keep things from getting too out of control.
Yeah.
Is he going for the 7 mana turn though? Yeah.
Yep.
So he's going to have to draw into a lot of things to keep the board stable.
Oh, that's a pretty good draw, though.
Oh, yeah. Equality right off the top. That's just immediately negates that 10 health.
That is a direct punishment to not only the innervate, but the coin as well.
Yeah.
It just completely shuts Bowzer down and has him have to restart his tempo.
He basically just destroyed 3 cards with 1.
Yeah. And even now he can hatch his Nerubian egg. Just right away, bam. Gets to keep his shredder.
As soon as the swipe comes out, it's going to kill the egg and he'll get the free 4/4, or he's just going to use it now.
Yeah, I would use the egg now. Like, even if my opponent has swipe, it's still worth getting that extra 4 damage in, because you never know how far that's going to take you.
Yeah, swipe is probably going to be used this turn, though. And he's got to hope that maybe a Lore Walker or something comes out, something with no damage, or something easily killable the next turn.
Yeah. Swipe is definitely a good counter here, kind of.
Mind Control Tech is actually pretty tempting because you could either get the Shredder or a 4/4.
I think I'd rather risk whatever comes out of the Shredder instead of...
He's thinking about that MC Tech, though. There it goes. Oh, beautiful. And now he can clear the Shredder. And hopefully something terrible comes out of it, and he gets a really good amount of board control, despite the turnaround last turn. Yeah, that is fantastic.
That's a great pickup.
Yeah, that Ancient Watcher 4/5 can't attack, and it's very unlikely that Paladin, if he is carrying a Silence, which will be the only real way to activate it, is going to either want to waste it, or not sure if he even has an 2/1 Owl that will silence it.
Mm-hmm. Now Corkscrew here could go with Abusive Sergeant, get rid of the Nerubian,
Get in there and fight, maggot.
and then pop down a Shredder, or go straight for the Muster play.
I would.
Muster play is going to get shut down pretty hard by that swipe, though. That's left in
I
his
would
hand.
probably have played the Shredder to play around. You want to try and bait out that first swipe if you can.
I think this is the biggest bait of them all. I think doing it on the Watcher was a mistake, though. Should have used that damage for face. I don't know if he runs combo in this deck or not, but it's definitely...
If nothing else, he might be worried that he runs Defender of Argus, which will give it taunt. But I don't think you really need to worry about the Watcher.
Gonna pop down the Shredder.
Yeah, both the shielded Minibot and the piloted Shredder are probably going down. Trying to get that board control back, but he's down to 1 card after the Shredder goes down. Not sure what he's thinking, but might be planning what to do the next turn since he's so low on cards. How best to...
Yeah. I think he was hesitant of doing the Shredder because he didn't want it to get killed right away. By the 3/3
yeah, there's also the risk of silences, but I think the Shredder would. You really need board control back because Druid is going to start getting to be unkillable once he starts placing all the huge taunts down.
Yeah. Bowzer here could kill the minion, just a simple 1/1 with the hero power, or could put down Loot Hoarder. Obviously doesn't want to just toss away the Mind Control Tech straight into that shield. Got rid of the shield. I think this is a really good, strong Tyrion turn.
Yeah, this is going to be his best chance to play. It's on curve even.
Let me think.
Shuts down a lot of things, and with the weapon that he'll get from from Tyrion dying, it'll help him keep the board cleared.
Yeah.
But Druid naturally carries 2 silences normally, so if he, although Bowzer doesn't have any now, he could easily draw into one and just make that Tyrion like half as useful.
But that Tyrion right now still getting great value.
Yep. Shield still up.
Shield's still up, and he didn't have a silence in hand, so it's not going to get punished. So that Tyrion's easily going to be able to either go face or help clear the board.
Bowzer can play his Sun Fury though, and that will have its own shield, and that will delay damage on him until he has a chance to silence that Tyrion so he doesn't get a weapon out of it.
Yeah. He also still has that swipe. I think this is really a good taunt play. Either Belcher or Sunhawk.
Get that loot hoarder out there. Really digging for that silence right now.
Thank you to all of our VIPs. And again, that's Barbara Allen, Batman, Arkham City.
Another muster for battle.
Prizes that anyone else can get t-shirts at the game.
Gotta use the Tyrion to kill the taunt. The shield bearer to get the other one.
He still hasn't played the second Shredder yet. So I'm not entirely sure what he's saving it for on this turn. He really probably wants to save that Eldor Peacekeeper if possible. But he may end up using it on the Azure Drake to keep his Tyrion alive as long as possible. There he goes.
Kills the loot hoarder. Didn't get him a silence. But he still has Swipe Wrath with that spell power to really kind of cause a lot of damage.
The 3 health minions, though, is really hard to deal with.
Yeah. Obviously he wants to kill that Tyrion, or else he's threatening lethal right now. So I really don't think there's many options other than possibly a swipe play or heal bot and something else. But I mean, if you're gonna heal bot, you might as well stay on curve with that swipe and the extra spell damage you have.
Yeah, well, you could use the Wrath and then put down your Thorsan and hope. Oh, he's going for the swipe play. So he's
Lay the
deciding
Wrath, draw a card, then hero power on something else and use the Drake to finish it off.
Can't avoid giving him the weapon from Tyrion.
Hopefully he got all his turns logged in before. He did. This kind of negates being able to use Muster for Battle because you don't want to get rid of that Ashbringer.
If CorkScrew is carrying Harrison, that will be a great draw next turn, so he can destroy the weapon and get more cards out of it.
Well, if Bowzer drew Harrison.
Or, yeah, sorry. We have a little too many monitors here. Yeah. If Bowzer draws Harrison. And he'll still be able to play his Druid. He would have still been able to play the Druid as another taunt. Yeah, CorkScrew's going to need another equality soon, otherwise Bowzer's just going to keep up putting so many taunts that that Ashbringer won't do anything other than waste his own health trying to clear them.
Defender of Argus, a good pickup. Kind of helps give extra leeway. Still going to have to use one charge of Ashbringer though. run the parrot in. Could go face here, or could destroy the heal bot.
Yeah, I'd be wanting to draw some more cards at this rate, so I might choose to use the Acolyte on the heal bot, and then go from there. He still has 6 mana, so there's a lot of viable things he could do with 6 mana.
Attention gamers! We've got a tournament going down in the Geek Tyrant group for Mortal Kombat X.
Quickly.
You can beat our Geek Tyrant champion, who wins some free
Doesn't have a lot of time left to pick it up.
So swing by and see if you got a
Ooh.
Quartermasterly, great play next turn in combo with the Muster for Battle. He'll get basically 3 3/3s and a 2/5 for 8 mana. And then, once again, Bowzer has to work on clearing the board, which he's been doing pretty well so far, but despite that being one of the Druid's weaker points is keeping a board cleared when there's too many minions.
Yeah. And I think CorkScrew knows that this particular deck isn't running combo yet, because there hasn't been a big strive or push, even though he's been low on health. But you never know. Looks like Bowzer's kind of taking his time, figuring out which kind of play he wants to make.
Both players are getting a little down there on health, but it's still sort of a battle for attrition right now.
I think Cenarius would be a great card. Dr. Boom. Not a bad choice, but still has to give CorkScrew another card in order to do it.
He's really been wanting to play that Thorazan for a lot of turns, but every time Bowzer clears the board, CorkScrew just keeps dumping out 3 or 4 more minions.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Boom does make the turn difficult, though. Do you choose to either Aldor Peacekeeper it, bring it down to 1 damage, or do you go with the combo play?
I think you have to Peacekeeper it. Like
Yeah.
you can't risk taking any more damage. And we already know that he's running Cenarius, so like that's lethal right there if he does the +1 on everything.
Well, he can still actually play the Quartermaster. He just won't get as many 3/3s out of it.
Quickly.
He'll have 2 3/3s instead.
Follow the rule.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to choose to use his cards and go face. Hopefully he makes it before the timer runs out. Doesn't want to use the Quartermaster. I don't see anything wrong with getting 2 3/3s instead of 3 of them. It's still a huge pain for the Druid to clear.
Could push for 6 if he drops down Cenarius. Still not the best, although I think a KT turn is best.
Yeah, Kel'Thuzad will be amazing on this turn.
Try to do your luck with those boom bots. Try to kill as many off as you can so you don't take another 7. Although 2 taunts from Cenarius would be nice. Give a little bit of leeway, and then focus your boom bots on the lower minions. So far, so good.
I wait for no one.
Oh,
If that Dr. Boom hadn't been Peacekeeper.
turns out the right play was right in front of us. Just a quick silence.
A little hard for me to see that on the screen, but yeah, didn't see the. He finally got the silence, and just when he needed it.
So, first game goes to Bowzer. I always tend to forget that you can silence after Peacekeeper.
Yes,
And
it
then
is
keep
an
going
effect.
and keep
Silence
that
basically
progression.
removes any effects other than silence that is on the minion. So you can unfreeze your own minions if you need lethal. So don't forget that if you have lethal and it's frozen, you can silence it. Alright, so now we're getting into a Paladin versus Paladin matchup.
Justice
Bowzer
demands
already
retribution.
knows the gist of what CorkScrew's running. There wasn't too much left to see from his deck from last game.
It's a pretty good hand for Bowzer. Just, I think I'd keep that. You really can't get too much better.
Yeah, the comboing with Knife Juggler and Muster is really good, and unfortunately he's player 1, so he can't just coin out the shielded mini-bot immediately. Oh, CorkScrew one-ups though with 2 Musters.
Double Muster.
Unfortunately, he has no board control until those are played. There's a real minion though. Piloted Shredder. Yeah, he's got a very nice curve now. Musters are going to sort of cancel each other out.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Pop down a Muster now, pop down a Muster next turn.
Pretty much.
You've got a lot of 1/1s in order to handle this kind of
Or, well, next...
early aggro from Bowzer. Now this is close to the same deck that Bowzer used to get through the qualifiers.
He could choose to reshield.
Put this apple on your head.
I think Juggler and a Leper, hoping it kills one of the minions, get the other one. Kind of acts as a good punishment, forcing CorkScrew to have to use his weapon in order to kill the Juggler right away.
I kind of would have liked to have saved a Juggler for a Muster turn, but looks like he threw that away when I wasn't paying attention.
I think you have to kill the Juggler and re-Muster.
The biggest threat right now is the Knife Juggler.
Let me think.
It's not pretty to take 3 damage to the face, but definitely, I think the wisest turn to make. Don't want to waste the equality. Shield bot could be good, but then
Yeah,
you only have one against the other.
You really can't let that Knife Juggler get out of control. So CorkScrew's really worried about the amount of damage that he might take in this aggro mirror. So he's trying to reduce that as much as possible.
Yeah. I think killing the Leopardome would have been the better choice. Get rid of that poison damage right away.
No, the Knife Juggler is the bigger threat. He'll
No, I
be
mean
getting a lot
with the last kill, with the weapon to face. I think I would have preferred to take that 4 damage right away instead of, you know, postponing it till later.
CorkScrew has no heal though, so
CorkScrew draws into another equality. He's got a little more options now.
I think I would go for a Piloted Shredder.
Reporting for duty.
Is he going to clear this with the weapon? No, decides to do it this turn. But, yeah, CorkScrew's been on the back foot the whole game, and it's already down to half health. Bowzer still has plenty of things that he can play to just keep pumping out damage.
I think Bowzer is pretty much just gonna go face.
Yeah, most of them, most of his minions do have 2 or less health though, so the Consecration will potentially help Corkscrew stabilize in later turns.
Yeah, Bowzer doesn't really have any strong answers, especially once those piloted shredders come down.
Let me think. Move quickly.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
Corkscrew gets a Divine Favor, but that's essentially a dead card in the way the current game's playing out.
Consecration, a good play. Clears the board, counters the muster, gets a little extra damage in.
The light protects me.
Not on my watch.
Bowzer deciding to just kind of swarm the board as much as he can.
If anybody needed a Divine Favor, it would be Bowzer.
Second Consecrate would be great. Doesn't draw into it though, only gets the Acolyte of Pain. Kind of still a tough game for Corkscrew.
Bowzer's got 2 shielded minions, which are going to be very painful to take care of.
Let me think.
And the Leper Gnome is essentially 4 or more damage just for the 1 mana.
I think you have to muster and kill that Leper Gnome as soon as possible. And just kind of take whatever damage comes your way.
Speak to me.
You gotta shut down that 4 damage, in my opinion. Decides not to, though. Decides to kill the other shielder.
Move quickly.
Bowzer, though, still able to kind of push through. If he just goes straight for face, there aren't too many. It gives him a greater chance of if he draws into a weapon, if he draws into a stronger
Bowzer going
minion.
face is the better option at this point, unless he draws into a Divine Favor. Otherwise, he's just going to run out of steam eventually.
Yeah, he could try to match with board control, but may not always be the best.
Reporting for duty.
Bowzer's still holding on to that owl.
He knows that Corkscrew has
Tyrion.
Yeah, so that's definitely what you want to save it for. He doesn't really need to silence the Acolyte. It doesn't matter if he draws more cards at this point, really.
Yeah.
But the Tyrion is a big threat on finishing out this game if he doesn't draw into Divine Favor very soon.
Bowzer's still debating it, though. Tyrion's still 1 turn away. Sea Giant's a good pickup. What Corkscrew really needs to do, though, is he needs to clear this board. He can't leave anything up, or else Bowzer has lethal.
He's looking a bit more calm than Bowzer is right now. He's fretting more about the 5 health than Corkscrew is.
This is tricky, though. It's gonna take 2 damage from the Leper Gnome. Can't leave anything else up. But if Bowzer draws into his second weapon or anything with charge.
Or if Corkscrew had that defender like he did last game, that Sea Giant would be doing a lot of work to save his life.
Corkscrew's got a hard mountain to climb if he doesn't have any heals in this Paladin deck.
If Bowzer draws into maybe a Consecrate or anything.
No. Just another muster.
Maybe even the same one he threw away earlier. Okay. I don't see what else there is to do other than maybe play the muster. Because your weapon damage is guaranteed, and unless Corkscrew draws into the Defender of Argus to make 2 taunts, he'll easily silence one and finish the game next turn.
Agreed.
But there is the potential that if Corkscrew had any buffs, that Bowzer could die this turn as well. With that 8/8 Sea Giant just sitting there, looking at him.
Draws into another Consecrate, but that extra weapon, that pretty much seals it unless there's some way he can squeeze out enough damage or get a draw.
I might consider using Equality to see if what comes out of the Shredder is a taunt. I can't remember if there are any. There are 2 mana taunts.
There are 2 mana taunts, so.
He just decides to suicide anyway, but there could have been the potential for a comeback still.
I think that would have been the correct play, was Equality, see what you get out of your own Shredder.
He still would have been dead, but he could have lived. He didn't know that Bowzer was just hanging on to an owl. He might have at that point, seeing as how Bowzer had almost no cards and refused to play that single card.
That was close though.
Yeah.
A little bit of back and forth, but Bowzer just.
Corkscrew was on the back foot the entire time though. He couldn't get enough damage early game to have enough to burst down with that Sea Giant that he was able to play.
Well, and couldn't stabilize the board until it was too late.
Mainly because of the Leopard Nose. They did a lot more damage. When you go face and then when you have to clear them with face.
Now, Corkscrew going with a Druid. Bowzer having his final deck of Warlock. Having a little problem seeing Bowzer's hand. We'll get that fixed right away. There we go. Apparently all it took was finding a good seat.
You gotta find the unbroken ones.
Yep.
Alright.
Handlock, kind of that new, I've been seeing this a lot recently, of a new kind of demon handlock thing. Like, Handlock used to not carry really Jiraxis or Mal'Ganis. Well, Jiraxis yes, but not Mal'Ganis. It's been kind of a newer addition to the meta.
Sorry.
I think one of these players may have been running a Malagos Warlock earlier. I'm not sure if they've declared any of those as their tournament decks. Bowzer doesn't really have much to play early on, though. He's got a Molten Giant and 2 9-drops. Right now, he's just hoping that something's going to be played to clear the board. Oh, Lotheb goes down. Very good turn for that.
Now, seems like a really slow beginning.
And it looks like Corkscrew is going to have a Malagos Warlock later on if he manages to win this game.
I greet you.
Not quite sure why Bowzer silenced there.
He's really worried about overdrawing.
But even then, I'd imagine you'd want to, like, Dark Bomb, double coil. There aren't that many one-health minions in a Druid deck.
Yeah, that is a good point.
And that Owl could be saved much later for a taunt or something. Or even a Shade, like once it's done.
He might have been hoping to get most value out of a Twilight Drake or a Mountain Giant that would hopefully have come up soon. But looks like he did finally get something to play before he gets low enough to play the Mountain Giants.
Now, Corkscrew here, I think Dr. Boom is the best bet. Like, it's just a strong, safe card. Even if Giants do come down, it gives him very clear advantage and very kind of a way to tackle them. Fortunately, though, Bowzer has a Shadow Flame, kind of clears it out. Pushes them low enough to get those Giants out, as well as that extra Mortal Coil play. No taunt to go with it though, so it's gonna get punished just right now with Savage Roar and that charge of Druid of the Claw.
Sorry about that. Where shall I strike?
So it's over. Corkscrew winning a game. Still a hard climb though to come back up and make it all the way to the top.
That was a really terrible opening hand for Bowzer. He had no playable cards. And the Lothab was a really great play to just force Bowzer to not be able to do anything.
So, for those of you that just barely tuned in, this is at the Salt Lake City, Utah Gaming Convention. We are hosting a Hearthstone tournament that is awarding a $1,000 prize pool, as well as Blizzard sanctioned points. So, definitely the largest Hearthstone tournament we've had here in the state of Utah, and a great addition to everything else. Now we're gonna fix spectating for Bowzer again. Apparently our old seat wasn't good enough.
That's why you shouldn't buy from hawkers. How much did you get those seats for anyway?
See, but this time we had to go through the crowd. I mean, apparently it wasn't good enough.
We're well into the first game, the next game already. Handlock versus handlock, those can be some pretty intense matchups.
Now, we do see a little bit of difference in Corkscrew's handlock, because he's actually running the Malagos lock.
So there's the huge potential for lots of burst damage later on.
Yeah. I've always wanted to see a Malagos get put down, and then implosion. And see a guaranteed just 6 imps. Just the whole board.
It's such a bad play, though, unless that was like...
I know it's bad. It's just still really cool.
With Malagos with Mal'Ganis out, and then just build up with him.
One day I will get my way.
You could always try it yourself.
No, because I admit that's a horrible play. Gonna see a Drake come down, your usual kind of handlock turn. Wouldn't be surprised if we see CorkScrew's own Drake and just going for face. Could do the Void Caller, but then won't get full value out of the Drake. Won't have something to challenge Bowzer's.
So many possibilities.
I could see why he'd want to go for the Void Caller though. Get that Mal'Ganis out right away. Have something to really kind of push through and some major beginning burst damage.
How you doing, Brandon? What's up? How you doing? I'm playing the semifinals right after this. All right, good luck. Thank you, brother.
From the void I come.
Plays the on-curve Void Caller. And next turn, he can protect that Mal'Ganis with the Sludge Belcher.
Gonna pop this, see what comes out. Fortunately for Bowzer,
That's not what you want to see.
got a BGH right away. That's why I think the Drake play would have been better, just kind of mirror him for a while.
Job's done.
Well, it is a pretty reasonable gamble to assume that they might not have Big Game Hunter in their hand at the time.
True.
Out of 30, most people only run one, so out of 30 cards, there's a decent chance of him.
I wonder.
Thinking about the Hellfire to try and clear the board and get some imps up there. Gets a couple of imps and a card draw off of the Mortal Coil.
Still kind of anyone's games, although Bowzer's really creeping up, like, especially with those giants. Like, he could lay down one now, lay down one the next turn, or even Thor saying this turn.
Yeah, the Thorsens are going to be really game-changing. Both players will be able to do so much more with the reduced card costs. Bowzer's got to play something. He's got to start running out of room in his hand soon.
Unless he fell asleep. I mean, his eyes are kind of closed. He's going down.
It has been a long weekend for all of us. And these games did start at around 10 or 11 in the morning as well, and it is now past 2. Nearing 3 p.m. here, so we still have quite a few hours to go in this tournament.
I still think this would have been a great Thorazang turn. Like, for either of them.
I've got the
Really
beast
get
in
the
my
early discount so you can get later burst.
I don't disagree with CorkScrews maintaining board control though. What he really cares about is Malagos getting reduced, or getting spells for Malagos to play reduced. So
That is true.
He only has Soulfire that would really matter at this point. Everything else is pretty cheap to play right now. So
That is true. I forgot that a Malagos and a Soulfire, that's a lot of burst damage.
oh yeah, 0 mana for what is it, 9 damage?
Yeah. I'd gladly get rid of one of my cards in hand to do 9 damage.
Yeah, and combo that with some Dark Bombs.
Now for Bowzer, I think either the Void Caller or throwing down a Dark Bomb on that Hunter.
So he's
Draws
looking
into a
to
Doom Guard.
Bowzer's looking to try and get both Dr. Boom and Mal'Ganis out next turn if possible.
Do you think you maybe Sludge Culture tap pass? You don't want to really push the handlock any further down.
Well, if you're
And
yeah,
at
if
the
you're
same
going,
time, you're pushing
he
the board
actually-
control.
yeah, there is the worry about Molten Giants, but he is getting pretty low to be able to just play the Molten Giants anyway. Yeah, he's gotten the Dark Bomb, which is definitely what he needed. Because if he reduces Dark Bomb and Malagos, then on turn 9 or 10, he could burst Bowzer down from like a 15 damage or a little more if he ends up playing Jiraxis. So Bowzer actually really does not want Jiraxis to take his place at any point in this game. He's going to have to rely entirely on heal bots.
Now Bowzer could run the Void Caller in and use a Shadow Flame. You know, just kind of get Mal'Ganis down now and make a push for something else later. But I think he's definitely going to try to go for that giant play while he still has a decent amount of cards in hand before he has to start discarding to use his other giants. Now I'm going to use the Dark Bomb. Run the Void Caller in. Hopefully draw that Imp to kill it.
CorkScrew may end up playing Thorsan this turn if he doesn't get a good draw. Yeah, heal bots. He's got 2 heal bots. He can sustain for a little while as long as too many giants don't get through.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good turn for Thorsan.
How much damage would he have in hand if he were to somehow magically keep the Soulfire, Doomguard, and Dark Bomb? That's 9.
He would have
12.
17 damage from Soulfire and Dark Bomb at 10 mana with a Malagos play.
Well, without a Malagos, I mean right now. Deal the 4, gets rid of the heal bot. Deal the 3. Doomguard, you win.
I really need to stop looking at only one screen at a time.
CorkScrew making it way back up. Going on to game 5. This player's really giving it their all, really showing how good these decks are made and kind of the strengths of each. Now Bowzer gonna have to play that hand lock again.
I don't think he drew into any taunts either, did he?
He didn't, not a single taunt.
So I think it's more to Bowzer's terrible draws the past couple of games.
Now this is a rough game because
I will fight with honor. Your
Like,
soul shall be mine.
if the Paladin can get the equalities he needs at the right times, he can shut down any type of Warlock giant play. No giants and high value cars for Bowzer, that's not good. Running into a little trouble with CorkScrew stream, but we'll get that hand up in a second. But for Bowzer, that's a rough starting hand. There's a giant that we want to see. This time though, Bowzer does have a taunt in hand, so he's going to be able to get through, but
CorkScrew's got a divine favor though. That's gonna draw a lot of cards versus a handlock.
That is gonna hurt. Especially with getting on these lower guys down now.
Yeah, CorkScrew is just going to try and burst him down, maybe win this by turn 5.
Definitely get that zoo going on.
Yeah, next turn, Divine Favor is definitely going down. Bowzer really needs to start taunting up immediately.
Yep. Needs to use that Dark Bomb now.
Yeah, still no Giant, still no Drake.
I think this is a great Divine Favor turn just right away.
The heart of the cards is not with Bowzer right now. Oh,
Like, Divine Favor now is your best.
too bad he didn't get another 1-drop to play right there to draw even more. But
Gets it now, though.
yeah,
Like, this
the
Paladin
shields are
is set.
the shielded minions especially are so hard to clear.
Like, I can't imagine CorkScrew not winning this. Like, he has he has 2 Peacekeepers to shut down any Giants. He has an Equality to get through any taunts with his low minions. Like, and then towards the end, he has his Tyrion, and Bowzer might, you know, screw up, try to silence a Peacekeeper, get board clear. You never know. Now we could see Ancient Watcher Taunt go down now. Kind of use it as a
Thinking
barrier
about
to
it.
some of these early minions.
It's just really worrying about the cards in hand. He's getting so many of the cards that he doesn't need.
Bowzer running out of time.
Decides to low step, hope it buys him some time. Later on, it will be another viable target to taunt up with the Ancient Watcher.
Draws into a Shredder. I think you just keep pushing. You have 2 shielded minions for when that Equality play comes down. You know he's gonna do 2 taunts at least, especially if you push through.
Piloted Shredder, probably the only real play at this mana curve. There's no true Silverhand to buff with the Quartermaster, and you want to save the Peacekeepers. There's nothing else really playable other than the egg, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't see the egg going down.
You could do Peacekeeper.
Yeah, you could give it, but
And then egg. But really, Shredder's probably best bet.
there it goes. And Bowzer has very few responses still. No heals. No Giants.
Now, if Lotheb were to spawn a Doomsayer out of that Shredder, that would swing things back into Bowser's favor, but
Yeah, it would definitely clear the Divine shielded minions. But there is still a lot of pressure from CorkScrew.
Bowser's still looking down at his iPad. CorkScrew looking a little worried, but, you know, there's still a sense of calm in his face.
Ooh, 2-3 taunts.
Still.
Or, yeah.
Kind
I
of
am
like
so
taunt
tired.
sometimes.
No, it's not.
Can't touch it.
It's not. If a taunt was stealth, it still wouldn't taunt, so stealth is the superior effect. Do you play Molten Giant now? I mean, he doesn't have heals.
Even if you tap, like,
I
your
mean, I would,
Giant's gonna cost the same. So you might as well just put it down now.
but I would have considered putting up the taunt wall with the Ancient Watcher. That is still a little difficult to get through.
Direwolf, great pickup. Could even kill that Giant now if he wanted to, but I think still pushing face is best. Just Wolf, muster, and then just go for it. You've seen the first giant come down. You know that he only has the one.
Peacekeeper comes down. Not a bad choice.
It's that time again. Solid City Gaming Condors Epic Announcement Time. The Mark Superhero Pack is starting now.
In the background, that's the Honest Trailers guy making announcements here at GameCon. Or Gaming Con.
Otherwise known as Dover. And check out the broadcast on the south side in our viewing area. Don't miss it. More do at the Bowzer.
Doesn't really matter whatever Bowzer does. I can't think of any play that actually benefits him. All because CorkScrew has the equality.
And because that mountain giant came way too late.
Like, you can see it in CorkScrew's face. He's calm. A little worried, because you never know, but he's pretty calm. Like, still at 30 health. Great advantage.
And CorkScrew is threatening 15 damage.
Almost out of time.
Once he plays the muster and gets the weapon off of that. So yeah, those taunts have to come down. Thinking about silencing. I don't know what would be worse, silencing versus a taunt wall at this rate.
Nothing really.
Alright, so
Well played.
equality is going to come through this turn.
That's
And
it. Strong climb up for CorkScrew, making it on to the finals.
Just getting all the minions out of his way and ending it right there. Very good first semifinals game. With still another one to come up in just a few moments while we set it up.
You need a view of